Hello friends, this is Yrvind, and now I try to lower it a bit. So I cut the corners here, and now I'm drilling a little hole here to make it bigger, because now I cannot put it in the drill press. 80% of the pressure is in the tip. So start with a little hole first. This is what I'm doing here. So it went well. I'm holding a piece of steel under it as not to drill into the bowl. That wouldn't be so good. So, hole on each side. Hello friends, now we're back here. So, here you see, now it goes clear my knee, and that's a good thing. So, works well. Goes in there, but it has to be a little bit higher up to not touch the bottles. That's the thing. So, there are people, they say, glue some Velcro on the bottom of this and here, and then I don't have to worry. Well, you will lift the bowl. If it's Velcro there, it comes up with a sudden jerk, and maybe I spill the contents on my knee. And on the other hand, when it's Velcro here, well, how to clean it? That's not compatible with good cleaning. So Velcro, bad for cleaning, bad for taking it off, you know. So that's not such a good thing. Also this, I think it looks okay. Nice thing to have. So things are connected. That means you have to keep several things in the mind at the same time. So here is this thing, the gimbal one, and it works fine. But it's more storage here, but that cuts into my seat a bit. So now I'm thinking about making this a bit bigger. So if I do that, the hatch will run into this. But then the plan is to now make the hatch slide a bit diagonal. So here is the air intake. I could have moved that a bit to the other one side, a bit more to the starboard, but that's too late now. So now I will cut out this and see what that does to my comfort. Hello friends, this is Yrvind, and this story continues. So, after coming back with the Shine Runner, my economy was kind of going down and down. Well, starting 1975, my economy was getting good and very good. And then for 25 years, it was very good. And now, since 2000, it's going down and down and down. And now it's kind of rotten. So, when I came back from the Shine Runner, 2012 I think it was, someone told me, one man playing golf, he got like $1,000 or $1 million, or I know, it was like an enormous amount of money. And also people racing and doing these things, you know, if you can make a record, you can make a lot of money. And at that time, there was a thing going on called Around in 10. The idea was to build a boat, not longer than 10 feet, sail around the world, and the winner would be famous and get rich. So I thought, well, I know small boats, I could do that. And then I thought I'd do it a bit better, maybe 8 feet or something like this. So I'm nearly 9 feet, I started making a boat. But then I realized, well, I was building to a rule. And when you're building to a rule, the lawyers come in and they define the rule and they try to cheat and rule bending and things like that. And then there were many examples for that. There's one book called Men Against the Rules. It's an old book, you know, about this America Cup and how they're bending the rules there. And then I read about also America's Cup 2003 in New Zealand. The New Zealander had a hula, like a hull appendix. It was like an extra hull, but it was only attached to the boat. So the rule said you can attach a thing as long as it's, I don't know, a little bit just. And that's what I did. And everyone said, many people said, this is not good, this is a rule sheet. But the lawyers looked at it and I said it was okay. So I thought then, and then I was thinking about boats that are measured in tons. And there are ton, and there are metric tons, and there are short tons, and there are long tons, and there are deadweight tons, and there are gross tons, and there are Thames tons, and the same with length. You would think that measuring a boat, like measuring a man, I'm 168 centimeters long. Well, of course I can measure with my shoes on and things like that. But, you know, without shoes and a good haircut, you know, no problem. But on a boat, it's called length overall, length in the waterline, length between perpendiculars, design length, and then you have the design length, and there are many lengths, you know. And then what's included in the boat, you know. If you bolted on a thing, it's not included. And the rudder is not included. Even a displacing rudder is not included. So I thought, that's odd, you know. In such a little boat, you know. And I could make 2 rudders. And I could be big. And I can give a lot of displacement. And then I would have like a trimaran. So I started thinking, well, that's a good idea, you know. But then my conscience started ticking. Well, could I live with that? Cheating like that, bending the rules? I'm against such things, you know. So I abandoned the project, you know, but I built on this boat a lot and I thought, you know, how to make good things. And one of the good things I found out was the side-by-side mast. So that was a good idea, I thought, you know. And then to test it, I built a little boat, 4.5 meter, 98, no, 1 meter, 8 centimeters beam, you know. And at the same time I was writing on a book, a biography, and previous, you know, my books gone very well, like this book here, sold well, you know, and the first book sold well and reprinted, and so that was a good thing. So, but then I went to the publisher with this book, and as usual it took some time, you know, and I said, well, this could be, but we must make it more dramatic. This is not so dramatic, but this is what I like. I like the low key, you know. I don't like this exaggeration, you know, and big things, but that's what people like, you know. And they like crime stories, you know, people getting killed, you know, and all these things. So I'm against that. So suddenly there was very little money. And I abandoned this around in 10. But that still had this hull. But it was just a small boat. So I thought, well, maybe I just make it, I add a little piece to it, you know. So this is what I did. I add a little piece of it. And like I intended before, I put the 2 masts on there. And then, I think it was 2018 or something like that. It was ready, I tested it. It was very tippy. And it was cramped. But I thought, wow, I could do it, you know. So I took it to Ireland and I started, but it didn't work well. So I thought, well, if it doesn't really work well, you know, I will abandon it. So I gave it away there on Madeira, Porto Santo, and that's how that project started. But anyway, this side-by-side rig was very good. The only problem was that the mast was leaning outside because it was a lug rig, and the lug rig is kind of, the bottom boom is 20% forward, the top one is 40% forward. So it kind of touched, the yards were like touching each other, but I solved that by leaning them out like 11 degrees or something like that. But in port, it was touching the other boats, you know. So, well, and now I got a solution for that too, but I don't do it on this boat because it was different. So this is a little bit, and the story continues.